Wait, Asmongold's dad died? Hold up. Someone in my chat just said that. One second. Ah, shit. A few days ago, my father passed away. It's difficult for me to even find the words for the emptiness it leaves me with. He was my last family member in the state, and I was there with him till the end. I will endure, but I don't think I'll ever be the same. Love you, Pa. Damn. That's so sad, man. Damn. That's really sad. Yeah, pancreatic cancer is a fucking bitch, man. Oh, shit. Asmongold just dropped a new video. His father passed away, and he just dropped it right now. Let's see it. This has been a brutal week, man. It's been a brutal 2 weeks. Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey guys, I don't really have much of a script for this one. Just gonna kind of do it off the top of my head. And I guess I want to talk a little bit about my dad. A lot of you guys probably already know, but earlier this week he passed away. And it was pretty troubling.
It's such a horrible moment. Like, you think that you get old enough to be able to just rationalize it away, but it's never the same. It's never the same, man. Like from a religious standpoint, right? One of the 10 commandments is honor your parents, right? It's a fundamental in life, and that's gone. Like, it's
traumatic, to say the least. And I was there with him the whole time. It was just me and him. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about it.
Bro, I'll be real, man. You know, you earn your place in heaven with one good deed sometimes, you know? And being there with your father in his final days is that good deed. It's unbelievable, man. I'm praying for Asmongold. I feel like he's really alone right now.
And explain kind of where I'm at, and also kind of like give you guys an explanation of why hasn't he been on. Well,
you owe no one anything, okay? All right, listen, man. It's a job, right? I love what I do. I love making videos. It's a job. All right, realistically, you come first.
The reason. 3 or 4 days before he passed, the doctors told me that, well, actually, let me take a step back, okay? So ever since about 2023, his health has been on the decline, and it has been on the decline despite his best efforts. He had fought against multiple infections. He got pneumonia 6 times in 2 years, basically.
Oh, God, that's
maybe
really
a little
bad.
bit longer than that, and one of them the most recent one ended up leaving him hospitalized. That was the one later in June, and that's whenever things really, kind of the temperature of things really got turned up.
Yeah, sad as it is to say, hospitals are no place for sick people. It's horrible, man. But you know he was proud of his boy, that's for sure. Every time he would pop in on stream and stuff, it was such a wholesome moment. He definitely was proud of his boy. Dude, I feel so bad. Look, I think I don't know what his personal life looks like, so I'm not gonna make believe I do. But you need human connection. You need people. You need people to be there with you, okay? Like, I really hope he doesn't just sit in his grief alone.
It started getting really bad. But for about 2 years now, I've been doing a lot. I've been going over to his house, multiple times a week, doing a lot of support, doing things like, anything from going shopping for him to, like doing the sheets.
Every person that criticizes Asmongold on the internet for random cringe, like a messy house or political opinions, this dude is a fucking legend, okay? This dude is an absolute fucking legend. Honoring your parents is one of the most difficult things you could possibly do. It's so difficult, okay? It's difficult, like, literally just to always be around and stuff, but it's so difficult because parents are sometimes incredibly difficult people. All right, I'm just gonna say it. All right, I feel the rebellious side is in every person. All right, everyone has that rebellious side, man. Every single person. All right, and your mom will just say something, and it's like, but you swallow that shit. All right, it is easily one of the most difficult things out there, and he's the GOAT for it. He really is. This is it's a Herculean task to properly, honor your parents, and nothing but respect for anyone that does. Truth nuke, it is. All right, there's a Jewish quote from the Talmud, actually, that says there's 2 commandments in the entire Bible that God promises you a long life. All right, one of them is honoring your parents. The literal verse in the Bible says, and God will bless you with a long life. And the other one is sending away a mother bird before you take the eggs to eat the eggs. Like, if you're going to eat the eggs, you make sure that the mother bird doesn't see you eating the eggs. You shoo it away, like to be kind to the bird or whatever. And that one is another one that the Bible says, and it promises you a long life. What's the overlap here? Like, they're two, like, diametrically, like, they have nothing to do with each other. So the Talmud's answer is because shooing away a bird before making an omelet is easy. It's the easiest commandment. All right, it's literally super easy. What do you care if the bird is there? You just shoo it away. But taking care of your parents is the hardest commandment. So it's basically to show you that you are promised an eternal life if you value any of the commandments. That's kind of the interpretation. But so I have nothing but respect for Asmond, and I'm sure his dad was super proud of him.
On his bed, making sure that his floor's vacuumed, etc. Right? I was basically maintaining his entire house.
Bro was vacuuming his dad's floor, and he lives in, like, dead rats and raccoons and shit. Do you understand? That's crazy.
Cleaning it because, I didn't want to have to, I guess, it's in a way dishonorable, I think, to him to, like, ask for maids to come clean up his house, especially. And so it was my responsibility, I thought, as his son, to do that for him, and I did. And so that was the reason why a lot of times I would end my stream at about 7 to 8 p.m. It's mainly just to call him and, make sure that he has everything he needs. And this has been something I've been doing for the past 2 years, ever since June of this year. And I mean, this is one more. I apologize. As I said, I don't really have like much of a internal script for this one. But when he got his pneumonia for the 4th time, before the 4th pneumonia, he's 76 years old. He's been through Vietnam. He's had heat stroke before. He has, again, 78. Half of one of his lungs was gone. Oof. And he was still walking, a brisk, like, a 5K every single day in, like, 30 or 40 minutes. And this is like at 76 years old. He would do this every single day. And this is after 3 pneumonias, but the 4th one really kind of, it pretty much almost got him. I mean, and, we were talking about this and, he was a fan of boxing. And so, he was saying, it was like the count was 6 or 7, right? And, it was like 4 or whatever. It's like he was almost out with that 4th pneumonia, but somehow he managed to pull through. And with a new type of new antibiotic and everything, he had recovered pretty much entirely. And this was kind of like, this had gone relatively well. Like, he was going back to being at the store. He lived alone pretty much his whole life. And, even at the end, I would come over every single day and help him for hours, but he did live alone. Like, he would shower by himself. He would be able to take care of himself, cook himself meals, etc. Although that was something that I was kind of like, because I could see, I'm not stupid, right? And like, I could see where things are going. So I had a lot of, home care stuff, personal chefs set up and everything for whenever he thought it was time, I would be ready for it to be time. And so ever since 2023.
Dude, I'm sure that you dude, his dad went out so proud of his son. So proud of his son that he stepped up. So much sad shit going on, man. So much sad shit happening. It's crazy. But that's how he went out. All right. Like, I don't think people think about how much that means to a parent. Like, wow, dude.
He and I had been on relatively the same page, that we were kind of living on borrowed time, and it was a miracle that he even came out of that pneumonia at all. And we ended up being able to, earlier this year, go to Florida, and Florida is where I was born. It's where he grew up as well, and it's where the majority of my family is. And so we went out there, and I think back right now to, the fact that we were able to go out there. He was able to see everybody in the family and spend all this time with them. And at the time, I was very frustrated because I had to take time away from my stream. It was the same week that 33 came out.
Yeah, every streamer has the same exact strategy. Every streamer thinks the same thing. It's like, did I have to win the lottery today? I literally needed to stream, okay? I literally needed to stream. Did I need to win the lottery today? I couldn't win the lottery tomorrow. Like, dude, relatable, man. And it's like that for anything good, anything bad. It's like it's a grind. It's a real, like, it's almost meditative that, you know, you go live, you talk to the people, you like, it's a rhythm. And when shit fucks with your rhythm, it's annoying. It really is. And it's the fact that he took like 2 weeks off to take care of his dad it's a unbelievable thing. It really, really is. It really, really is.
And annoyed, also oblivion. But, you know, I look back on that and I'm just so proud and happy that I ended up making that decision at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because he was able to see everybody, and he saw them in good health too.
Wow,
like,
dude.
he was, I
Wow.
don't know how this even happened, but he was 78 at the time.
You can't compare. Like, dude, you have to fight for the eternal, all right? You let the transient, superficial shit slide a little bit. You are fighting for the eternal. I don't know. I feel like God's calling back his strongest soldiers because some crazy shit is happening these days. Like, it's wild. We're living in crazy times.
And he was still walking around and, you know, like going from like 9 a.m. to like 2 a.m. every single day. And so he had an incredible amount of energy, had like multiple jobs. And so now I guess now I can finally go to the recent period of time, which is whenever I kind of started being very intermittent in my streaming. You can look at my graph and, you know, like my stream hours had went way down, right? And this was the reason. It was because my dad had been to the hospital 3 times.
Yeah.
And the third time was obviously the time that he didn't leave. But the first time he had pneumonia and he called me and, you know, things just progressively got worse. The second time he called me and I'm on the phone with him and he calls me in the morning. He says, "Hey, I don't want you to freak out, okay? Like you always do.
Wow,
but
dude.
I've got acute liver failure and I need to go to the emergency
Oh
room
my
right
God,
now."
dude.
And I'm like,
Oh God. Oh my God. That's brutal.
I was like so in shock. I was like, I didn't know what to say. And so I asked him, I said, are you cooked? And he's like,
Dude, this is the worst conversation I've ever heard. Oh my God, dude. I don't want you to freak out, but I'm dying. Are you cooked? Bro, what is happening? No. Oh my God, dude. That's rough, buddy.
"What does that mean?" I'm like, "Are you dead?" And he's like, "I don't know. Let's go find out." And I'm like, "Okay." And so we go over there and, you know, like it turned out, long story short, had pancreatic cancer. Not a good day.
No, that's awful. My grandmother died of pancreatic cancer. It's awful. It's just terrible. I know someone that currently is struggling with pancreatic cancer as well, and he's not even doing chemo. You know, like he's an older guy, and he's like, you know, I'm not doing chemo. Wow, fuck, man. He's like, yeah, I'll let God take me when it's my time. It's brutal, man. It's the nightmare cancer. It's the worst cancer, basically. It's so bad.
Worst cancer to have. And I remember telling him that he had pancreatic cancer, and somehow he didn't get the memo that he had pancreatic cancer. I was the one that was called and told before he was. And so he called me and he's complaining about the nurses because the nurses are waking him up at night. And he's in the middle of a rant and I interrupt him and I say, "Pa, just real quick, did the doctor talk to you?" He says, "No." He says, "What's going on?" I said,
"Oh my God, dude, the doctor made him break the news?" Whew. That's brutal. That's brutal, man. Look, man, I don't know, like, open up with personal shit, but, like, this opens up all sorts of wounds. Like, it's crazy. My mom had metastatic breast cancer, and, like, she developed tumors in her brain to the point that she was, like, having seizures and she wasn't able to speak. And, like, I remember going to the hospital, and, like, I'm there, and the doctor's there, and, you know, like, she sort of knew what was going on. And, like the doctor, like, said, "Hey, don't, like, I'm not telling this to your mom or whatever, so she could fight, but she's not gonna make it through it." Like, literally said it to me, like, directly. Like, I'm not telling her, but I'll tell you. And it was the worst day of my life. It was awful. It was awful. Honestly, a miracle. Thank God she survived. Like, thank God she survived. She did. Thank God. Unbelievable, like, miracle that happened. It changed my life, to be honest. That event changed my life. It was about 10 years ago. I was, I think, 19 at the time. It was brutal. It's a crazy story. The whole thing's an insane story. The doctors basically said it's not happening, and God was like, "Well, actually, it's going to be okay." And turns out God was right, and the doctors were wrong. Surprise. So, yeah, it was a crazy, crazy moment. A crazy time of my life. I get it. Like, I get it. Fuck, what a nightmare.
Pancreatic cancer. He's, "Oh, okay." Well, so anyway, so it's like 4 a.m, And this bitch comes in here, and he didn't even care. He didn't give a fuck. And so, and it was honestly, like, I've never met a person in my entire life who gave less of a fuck than my dad. It's honestly been inspiring to me, and, you know, hopefully I try to embody that as much as I can. But it was really astonishing. And so he was in the hospital for that, and he came out of that, and obviously we went to the oncology place, and guys, I hate to say it.
It's
man,
terrible.
Like, I've been
It's
to
terrible.
hotels
Hospital is not a place for sick people, man.
that are worse and that don't look as good as these oncology fucking.
Oh, really?
You know,
But I hate the oncology places. I hate it. I hate it. It is brutal. It is brutal. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare over there. It's demoralizing and sad because basically most of the people that are there are not going to be walking out. Like, dude, holy.
These, like, clinics, everything. Never curing cancer, bro. Like, this is, like, they've got, like, fucking, like, everything is wood, like, you know, like, polished oak, and, you know, like, you go into the bathroom, and it's got, like, almost like a golden fucking toilet. So, yeah, guys, I don't know about this whole cancer cure thing you've got going on. A little bit unlikely. But, anyway, so, my dad, you know, he and I went there, and, you know, he got along really well with the doctor, and, you know, he's walking in there, by the way. This is like after he's supposed to be on oxygen, and he had recovered so much that he would be walking around. This is like literally like at this exact time, right? More than about 2 weeks ago, he was walking around the local grocery store here at HEB. He was walking around with no oxygen, the whole store, just talking to people, shopping like normal, right?
The goat.
And then
A lot of people that are sick, you know, they want to like make believe that they're not, like to feel normal in quotes. You know, you don't want to even like admit to yourself that you're like sick, you know?
You know, it was really the chemotherapy, I think really was what got him, is that he had...
Oh, chemo is brutal. My mom did chemo for her breast cancer. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Like, she was sicker from the chemo than the cancer. I mean, she also had brain surgery because of the tumors in her brain, which also was very not good. But, like, after she recovered from that and she started chemo, it fucked her, dude. It was brutal. Like, throwing up and spitting and vomiting and you know, inflamed lymph nodes, and, like, you know, arms get puffy and swollen. And it was, oh, my God, dude.
At his first thing of chemotherapy, and then this is like the same week that he was actually walking around the store. So like he had even got chemo, he was still walking around, no oxygen and everything. After the pneumonia, after the pancreatic cancer diagnosis, he was stage 2A with pancreatic cancer. So we were talking about like maybe you know, like they were able to do a procedure to remove it. In retrospect, this procedure, you know, if I think back on like what do they really do, this is like something that they would do in like Game of Thrones, right? It's like this isn't a surgery. This is like a procedure done by a medieval alchemist, and I don't really think that
Sure.
he would have probably enjoyed that. And it's, you know, like realistically, I talked to my aunt about this, and she said, like, just do not get this procedure. It's really, really bad. It's actually worse. You know, the treatment is worse than the disease. You know, just enjoy your last 1.5 to 3 years, and, you know, like, trust me, it's going to be better. Because also, whenever you remove it, there's a chance that on a microbiology molecular level, the cancer does end up spreading anyway. And so, but there have been no metastasizing, etc. And my dad wanted to go through the chemotherapy, and he said, all right, let's fuck it. Let's just do it. And I said, okay, all right, man. Well, this is what you want to do. We're going to do it, right? It's his life. And so anyway, we went through it. Second chemo, the day of his second chemo, like he had been feeling like kind of not really great, but I had kind of chalked that up to the first time he had gone out and done all that stuff that one day. And it's like, you haven't gone out or done anything for an entire month. You haven't driven a car for a month, and you do all of this, and you go to the bank too after this. And big surprise, you know, you're not really doing super great after that.
Yeah, sure.
But
Chemo's
anyway,
horrible.
This
Dude,
is like...
chemo, for those of you that are unaware, chemo is poison. It is poison, and it will kill you. It will kill you, and it will kill cancer. The goal is that it kills the cancer before it kills you. That's what chemo is, okay? And there's no sugarcoating it. That is literally what it is. Like, it's fucking killing your cells. You just hope that the cancer cells die before, you know, all your other cells. Wow, man. It's a nightmare. Like, it's unbelievable that it's the best we got.
Maybe about like a week and a half ago, like we go to the second chemo appointment, and he comes home, and he's like talking like, oh my God, he's talking nonsense.
Did you see what I mean? Honoring your parents, the hardest commandment. It really is. It is the hardest commandment. Sorry, bro. Sorry. It really is. There is nothing as difficult. Nothing. Like, It's little things. They get to you. I don't know what it is. But your parents could, like, they can annoy the shit out of you, bro. Yeah, no hate to your parents. I love my parents. I really do. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, you are so much more on edge when you're talking to your parents. But Asmongold was there. He was there for him.
Stop, right? And so on the way home, and then halfway through the way home, he was just like, Brian, he was tired. And like, I get it, like, because he's done this before, right? I didn't really think much of it, but he comes back home and he just collapses on the bed. And he's like, after that, he's like super like cold, he's shivering. The house, by the way, like, we forgot to turn on the AC. It's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so fucking hot. And so anyway, you know, he's sitting there and he's freezing cold, and his back's hurting him. He can't fucking catch his breath. Everything is awful. And I'm like thinking like, okay, well, I want to go home and get ready because, you know, I want to go live tomorrow. But like, I couldn't do that because he was just in this situation. Yeah. So, you know, one thing led to another, and I ended up just sleeping on the floor next to his bed that night. And, you know, he couldn't catch his breath all night.
What a good son, awful. Man.
The next day,
I have nothing but respect for this. Like, dude, this is worth so much more than all the fake virtue signaling that every influencer always does. Like, this is real, man. You know, this is when you're up to the task, when you're up to the plate, and you fucking bat 1,000. These are the moments you're built for.
For a pulmonology appointment, and we figured, well, I mean, instead of just going to the hospital, we might as well have them admit us to the hospital because it was pretty evident that that's what was going to happen. And so we go, and you know, I have to, you know, take him in a wheelchair and, you know, everything like that. He's on his oxygen, etc.
It's crazy, man. Like, obviously I can't compare what anyone's going through compared to him, but like, dude, like, just thinking back, you know, whenever Asmon Pa would, you know, call him on stream and just start like shit talking some random thing, you know, bro would start blaming random fucking bullshit on the military industrial complex or whatever he's yapping about. Like, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy that like that era has ended, you know? Man, I hope Asmongold's okay. Hope he has like real life people that he cares about, not just online people.
And, you know, like, he's not even, like, super really responsive. Like, you know, usually, like, you guys have seen him, like, talking, like, multiple times. Like, he used to be a college professor, right? I mean, like, he was extremely sharp. And, you know, this is something that, like, I mean, besides, like, this last, like, week and a half, he'd never really lost much of his edge. And anyway, so, you know, basically, like, this is what happened. And, you know, he just kind of, he went to the hospital, and obviously his blood pressure was like 70/50. So that's not a very good one, is it? And cool. He goes to the hospital, he gets admitted, and things basically are not good, but they're, you know, like, oh, we think it's this, we think it's that. The end result is that I don't think that they ever really found out entirely what was wrong with him. But in my opinion, it's like, oh yeah, you go and you...
Bro, he's a 78-year-old man that had weak lungs and multiple pneumonias fighting pancreatic cancer that was on chemo, which is like fucking poison, you know?
Chemo, and then after that you...
Look, I believe in fighting for someone's life every single day, all right? While they're alive, you absolutely fight every single day. Every breath you have, you fight. But once it's over, like, you can go back and question yourself and ask if I should have done this or I should have done that. It was his time to be with the creator. All right, it was his time. At that point, the second guessing really isn't important.
Collapse and have a massive fucking crash out where you can't breathe. Probably it was because of the chemo, right? I mean, I can't be sure, but that's pretty much it. And so 4 days before he passed, 3 days before he passed, the doctors, I had 2 doctors in there telling me that, you know, it wasn't a matter of if, but when he gets out of the hospital. I'm pulling into the hospital the next day. The doctor calls me and she says that, well, we don't know if he's going to leave the hospital. So whiplash, to say the least.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
brutal.
I'm freaking out, right? I mean, like, it's just like, this is just, oh my God, right? Because I'm dealing with this, by the way, primarily by myself. You know, like, all my family's in Florida. Lucky enough, and I'll get to this, but I was able to handle all this on my own. I did all this by myself. You know, I had friends that would, you know, reach out and try to help me, etc. But, you know, for the most part, it was really just me doing all of this. And I'm lucky in a lot of ways, but, you know, like, he's had a lot of friends over the years, obviously. And so, you know, many of them were able to, like, come see him and everything. But, you know, I think about it a lot myself, and I think to myself, like, well, like, growing up and even, like, as an adult, there was a lot of friction between me and my dad, right? I would get very angry at him. I'd be very
Yeah, it's tough, man. Hardest commandment. It's the hardest commandment. It really is. Unironically, the hardest commandment, dude.
Very furious, angry at him for a number of reasons. Same with my mom, but especially my dad.
Bro, they get under your skin. They get under your skin. It's like your very soul is challenging you to be a better son. That's where we're at.
And I had a lot of resentment for a lot of different reasons, etc. Like, I love my dad. I always loved my dad. But he would make me frustrated a lot, and the way that he would act sometimes would make me uncomfortable, and it would bother me a lot. And so there was a very big amount of friction there. But, you know, I remember when I was a kid, and he would always say this. He says, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to hang out with you. I'm not here to be your buddy. I'm here to be your father and to raise you.
Honestly,
so,
true.
You know, when the time comes and I'm gone, you're going to be able to keep going. And at the time, you know, he's obviously.
That's goated. A lot of parenting these days that, like, you see, a lot of parenting is like, oh, I'll just be besties with my kid. You know, we'll be besties. But you're not besties. You are the parent. They are your child. Your duty is to raise them, not to be your bestie. It's honestly based.
When I'm 8 years old. And so this is like, I've never met anybody who is even remotely close to as much of a hard ass as my dad is. Like, it's not even remotely close. And, you know, I'll tell him something bad that would happen to me, and this would turn into a story about how his family didn't have any money growing up, and so he had to...
They're canceling me on Twitter for saying that video game girls don't have big enough boobs. They're canceling me on Twitter. Bro's dad bitch slaps him across the face. Bitch slaps him. I literally didn't have pennies. I had nothing. I ate moldy bread. Bro, every parent does that. It's so annoying, but they all do it.
On squirrels to feed the family. And so there's never a time that I could complain to him, and he wouldn't be able to one-up it, which would be frustrating for me, right? And there was a lot of resentment and frustration there, but...
Bro's like, my computer crashed. Dad's response, I was in no... Yep. We know.
At the end of the day, he was a massive fucking hard ass, and that harshness and everything, I think, is probably a lot kind of where I get it from too. But, you know, I was thinking, and I would always resent this, and I would be very frustrated. But I realized that, you know, like, you know, when he was dying, I was there, and I was able to deal with it. And I was there the entire time. I went till the very end.
Those are your moments.
You know,
yeah, your life is, it's all about those moments, and you live that moment, man. You are, like, such an inspiration to millions of people, okay? All right? Like, it's insane. He is an inspiration to millions of people that will strive to be better children to their parents.
I think to myself, at the end of the day, he did it. I was ready. And, I mean, not as ready as you can be, obviously, right?
Of course.
But, you know, I think about that a lot, and, you know, what he said.
He made a good son. His son was a real man. Dude, what bigger duty is there for any man than to raise a son that will be a good enough man to stand up on his own 2 feet and take care of you, and hopefully take care of a future generation.
Out to do as a father for me, I think he achieved it. And, you know, I've had a number of days right now just to think about that.
Dude, what better tribute in the world than he did it?
And it's been, I have a lot of very, very complex feelings about that. And that's been basically what's been going on. Obviously, you know, I had to contact all of my family members and everything, and organize everything, and deal with his will and everything. He's giving away most of his stuff to his friends. And we made a video of him, you know, like, oh, this is going to this guy, it's going to this guy, it's going to this guy, it's going to this guy. And I even made sure in the video.
A few months ago, I was visiting my parents, and, you know, my dad says, come to my office. He calls his office one room in the house. Come to my office. So I come to his office, and he opens a drawer, and he's like, all right, so this is my will. I'm gonna die, and you didn't even know where the will is. I'm like, whoa. Like, came out of nowhere, you know? Wow, man. Brutal.
I was like, Pa, who's the car going to? He's got a 2014 Dodge Challenger, a V8 Hemi performance package car.
That's the first question.
I'm like, Pa, who's the car going to? He says, oh, it's going to you. I said, okay, all right, good. That's in the video.
Goat. Oh, yeah, right. Fuck yeah, dude.
So I'll be...
Otherwise, that footage might mysteriously disappear, you know what I'm saying?
Getting the car. Everything else, don't give a fuck about it. But I'm getting the car. And obviously a few other things that, you know, growing up, you know, would have sentimental value to me. Yeah. But otherwise, he's giving away a lot of the stuff to, you know, like different family members and friends, etc. And, you know, I've had to organize all of that and do all...
Dude, I used to do this with my brother to piss off my parents. Like literally. Like, oh god. I used to do this with my brother to piss off my parents that like we didn't even care. Like I think it was like the dining room table or something. Like we would do this with all sorts of shit, right? Neither of us fucking cared about the dining room table, okay? But we'd be like I want this. My brother would be like, no, I want this. And my mother would get like so, it would piss her off so much because it's like, you know, we're arguing over our inheritance. And we did it just to bother her. Like, we did this when we were like 8 and 6 years old, right? Yeah, no, obviously we stopped doing that because like it really pissed her off. But it was very funny.
That it's been a lot of work for me, and the work is not over, but it is beginning to recede, which is good. So, you know, I've lost my mom in 2021, lost my dad, and now it's just me. And it's a weird...
Asmongold, listen, I hope you're around people in real life, all right? Internet people, they're great, but they're not enough. Also, I mean, obviously, get married, have kids. Like, you have to see the unbelievable... Like, you said that your father did it. Your definition of did it was raising a son to be you. That's doing it. That's doing it, man. Like, again, obviously, when you're ready, don't rush into it. Take a year off, honestly. Not from streaming, but from incredibly massive emotional decisions. Take a year off. But, like, dude, Asmon Baby is going to be incredible.
Feeling, it certainly is. And I think to myself a lot about it. Yeah.
Find a good whammon. Preferably not someone that does OnlyFans. And let's go, man. Let's do it.
And I don't really know what to think or how to feel, or I don't think there is a right way to I don't know, like to feel this way. But you know, my dad at the end of the day always really did try to do his best for me, and you know, like you guys know on my stream, and
dude, I hope he has a community. And, that's really what I'm hoping.
You know, I don't think I'll ever really be the same after losing him and going through all of this.
Everything's different.
You know, I to be honest, the only thing that I really felt is that I felt really sad when he passed away because, you know, there was things that I had wanted to do for him, right? Like, for example, you know, he's a veteran, he's a Vietnam veteran, and I had wanted to go and have him take one of the honor flights to Washington, D.C. and see the memorial and everything. And this is something he had wanted to do, and I had agreed to go with him and to do that. And because you have like a +1, and, you know, they take a lot of the old vets there, and you know, I was really sad. There was that and a number of things. And to be honest, like not capitalizing and not doing more of those things, obviously, like I did a lot of things with him, but I have a tremendous amount of regret for not doing more. And it's one of those things where, you know, I've had only a few of these in my life where you actually can't undo this. You can't go back and redo it or fix it or undo it or anything like that. You just simply have to live the rest of your life with the consequences of it. And knowing that I hope I don't make that mistake again. I will do my best to never make that mistake again. I'll tell you that. And that's pretty much about it.
Crazy. What a crazy moment. Really, like, it's such a defining moment in every person's life. Unbelievable, man. Really praying for this guy. No, he's not taking a year off. I didn't say he should take a year off. I said that emotionally he should take a year off. Like, it takes a year to grieve. It takes a year to grieve. It doesn't take any less. So, like, emotionally speaking, obviously.
You know, it's weird even now. Like, I'll, like, think about it. It's like, you know, it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock now, right, when I'm recording this. And I'm, like, thinking, like, oh, I should probably call my dad, check in on my dad, and, you know, there it is, right? And so, you know, it's going to take me some time to kind of like get past it. I remember this is the day that we agreed to put him on hospice. I come in and it's like 2 p.m. or like 3 p.m. I come into his room and he says, well, why aren't you streaming? And I'm like, what do you mean? Why am I not streaming? You're fucking dying. Like, he's like, just whatever. Well, you need to go live. Man. Like, what are you doing? And so, you know, this is the kind of guy he was. And I intend to honor that wish. And I'm not going to be gone forever. I'll be back soon. It's what he would want. And I think it's what's best. I'm incredibly lucky that I was able to deal with all this by myself. My dad growing up and, you know, is like the oldest member of the family, patriarch in a lot of ways of the family, would help people with all kinds of stuff, etc. Yeah. And I find myself tremendously lucky and fortunate that I was able to deal with all of this by myself, and nobody else had to see him in the state that he was in at the end. And, you know, they can have the memories of him being a strong, smart, you know, nice, kind guy, and funny, you know, very funny. I'm very glad that, I was able to do all that myself, and nobody had to see what I saw. Not a good time.
The worst time.
But anyway, I will be back.
Like, it strips you of your dignity before you go. Cancer is brutal. It really is.
I don't really have a time frame, maybe a week or so, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, something like that. If it's longer, too bad. If it's shorter, surprise. So
yeah, whatever you need, man.
That's
obviously.
pretty much where I'm at. And also,
yeah, you don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone anything.
All you guys, I made a post about this on Twitter. All you guys that left positive comments and messages, in this hospital bed. I showed him. I was fucking scrolling. I was like, look at all these messages. Everybody wants you to get better. They're praying for you, everything like that. And he really appreciated it even then. Like, I think he was kind of in shock that it was so many of you all. And so that's really appreciated, and it means a lot. It meant a lot to him. It means a lot to me. And thank you. And so I'll see you soon. That's about it. Son of a bitch. It's been a fucking crazy past 5 years. Oh my god. But that's where we're at. So I wanted to tell you guys all what happened, and that's pretty much about it. And thank you guys, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Peace.
Brutal, man. Yeah, no, obviously praying for you, dude. I really am. I wishing nothing but the best going forward. Obviously, God got another good one. Heaven is an even nicer place now. Really rough. Wishing you nothing but the best, man. It's brutal times. Obviously, I'm sure that he's not watching this video because I'm just sitting here yapping and stuff. But you could reach out whenever. Obviously, please, man. The human connection. That's what's needed. That's the doctor's diagnosis here. IRL, human connection. Thank you so much, Asmond. I loved your call-ins. I loved your showing up and just being a good guy. And honestly, thank you, Asmongold. He's an inspiration. He's an inspiration to a lot of people. Right? People make fun of him for not drinking water and drinking soda and his teeth falling out and balding and shit. Oh, this was not the time. This was not the time. People make fun of him for shit like that, but no, dude pulled his weight when it really mattered. And honestly, taking care of your parent, it's when it matters. So, see you in the next one. Hopefully a lighter mood, because damn, shit's been rough. Bye.